So, hello, and welcome to my werewolf build for the Greymoor DLC for the Stamsorc and Stamina Necro, sorry, fuck. These are my stats in PvP with the PvP buffs on, as you can see. My jewelry is still purple, so my stamina will go up to over 45k. Around 30 to 28k health, depends on whether you have the Emp buff or not. When the Eternal Vigor set procs, my health recovery will go up to around 3k. My mag recovery is between 1.7-ish and 2.1k. Stamina recovery is at around 1.3 to 1.8k, depending whether your health is above 50% or not. The weapon damage is at around 3.5 to 4k, depending on the buffs. In human form, it's a bit less. The resistances are at 31k in werewolf form. So yeah, that's pretty okay, we can work with that. I really like how the health recovery works on this build. It's actually pretty amazing. As soon as you get like half health, the health recovery like carries you so hard. Now I know why people love Troll King so much as on human builds. It's like, damn. The crit ratio is at around 30%, 35% or so if you have like a few scrolls. And yeah, 20% in human form without the major savagery. So, yeah, the basic idea of this build was to a bit explore some of the new sets and see if I can use them, and also see if I can work in some of the mythical items into my setup. So I took, like, for example, the snowshoes. I thought about using the Malakoff band, but honestly I wasn't too like overwhelmed by it. The Malakoff, I know it sounds nice, blah blah blah, 25% more damage, but I prefer having crits, to be honest. Plus, having a snare removal as a wolf is actually pretty awesome. So what I'll do here first, I'll show you the kind of the setup for my Stamsorc. You can take the human skilling of my Stamina Necro from the other build video of the updated version of the Husseins Rose Heavy build that I uploaded. And yeah, the first set that we're using is the Eternal Vigor set. It drops from the Western Skyrim. It gives you max magical recovery, stamina recovery, health recovery, maximum health, and adds 329 stamina and magical recovery while your health is above 50%. And when your health is below 50%, basically when you are getting mauled, your health recovery is adds like another 1k to your health recovery. So yeah, absolutely insane. As a poison on the front bar, I would recommend using double dot poisons. On the back bar, as a back bar weapon, I would recommend using the Perfected Discipline Slash set, which is the two-hander setup from Veteran Asylum Sanctorum +2. You can get it non-perfected from the normal Asylum Sanctorum, but yeah. As a helmet, we used one heavy Domihouse helmet. Then we use the Stone set as a damage set. It's a craftable from Western Skyrim. You can make it, let's see, Western Skyrim. Sorry, this is console. Yeah, it's somewhere on, this hill. Some on top of the hill, you can see like a house. Go inside the house, that's where you can find the crafting station. So, yeah, anyway. So we make the chest heavy, the shoulders we make in light, and everything else apart from the shoes, which is the snow shoes, we make those heavy as well. The snowshoes come in medium, divines. I'm going to transmute it to impenetrable as soon as I can. And with that, you can have, doing that, you'll be wearing 5 heavy, 1 medium, 1 light to get the most out of the Undaunted passive. I like the set because it gives you immunity to snare and immobilizations, which can be cleansed, which basically means talons, the frost shards, snares, like caltrops, for example. It really is awesome. It's like walking on clouds in combat. Sure, you can't sprint, but you do have your feral pounds to get from point A to point B when you're in a hurry. So yeah, to get this, you'll have to do some scrying and excavating. You need to be at least level 7, I would say. Yeah, level 7 to dig these things out. It'll take you like 1 afternoon or so. It's really not that bad. It was bugged in the beginning on console, but now it's actually fixed. The jewelry, we use the jewelry of the Eternal Vigor, all in robust. It drops in healthy, but we'll transmute it to robust, and we'll enchant it with weapon damage enchantments. Because we already get enough magic and stamina recovery from the set, we don't need anything extra. We put all the attribute points under stamina, which gives us 36.5k when everything's gold, max stamina in human form. Which, it's a nice value, you can work with that. You can like change 1 or 2 skills out to get the weird daggery things. But yeah, anyway. We use the Mundus stone of the Atonaf. This is like for the werewolf. Because as you know, our heals are using magicka. They scale of weapon damage, and they use the skill of health, and they use your weapon crit to determine whether they crit or not, but they use magicka and they use a ton of it. That's why I made sure my magic recovery was really high in the setup. As a buff food, we use the Bewitched Sugar, so you can buy it. I think you got it off some event. I can't really remember, to be honest. And yeah, so. And there's a statue of her scene. So yeah, that's that. And skills for the human form. So the first skill we use is Hurricane. It's like a big AoE damage of a time ability. It grows in size and in damage the longer it's active. It'll give you Major Resolve and Minor Expedition, which increases your physical and spell resistance by around 5k, and you get 10% more movement speed. This is, since we can't sprint, this is a nice way of keeping us mobile. And that plus our insane magic recovery was going to be really a lot of fun. Whereas we use the Heroic Slash to get the Minor Heroism, which gives us 1 ultimate every 1.5 seconds. Just so that in combination with the, let's see, what was his passive? Nope, not here. No, not here either. Here it is, yeah. Here with the Power Stone passive, which reduces the cost of our ultimate abilities, plus the Heroic Slash, means that we get up our Werewolf extremely fast. So yeah, that's really a really nice thing to have. I absolutely love it. Then we use Ball of Lightning as a possibility of kiting and escape. It'll cost us 3.5k magicka. The cost, if you cast it again within 4 seconds, it'll cost 33% more. So basically it's going to be like around 7. What I usually do is streak, dodge roll, and then I like to walk a bit. So that's like around 7.5k magicka used. Then you wait like 4 seconds. My magic regions are in 2k, so effectively you're using like 3k magic every time you do that, and have like 18k, so you can imagine how often I can do that. Then we use the Resolving Vigor and Dark Deal, which is under the Shadow Tree, I can't remember the tree name. It's, yeah, with that, we can, since we have a very good magic recovery, you can use the Dark Deal to constantly keep your stamina sustained at a sufficient rate. It's pretty cheap as well. So, and then there's an ultimate, of course, we use the Pack Leader Werewolf. We use the White Morph. Since this patch, you get 10% extra damage mitigation, which makes you a lot tankier, and you also give yourself and your allies minor courage, which is like a bit of extra weapon damage. So yeah. That's that. And on the back bar, I use skills. I basically use kind of more utility-based skills. I use like Dizzying Swing as a spammable in human form. Also the off-balance thingy, which it does. That in combination with our Hurricane procs our stun set really, really fast. So that's another big bonus of it. So we can use the damage set also in human form. Then we use the Turn Evil, which is in the Fighter's Guild. This is a big AoE CC. It costs a bomb and stamina, but as a Stamsorc, you'll be alright. Dark Deal for the win. Then we use the Executioner, which is, as the name says, an execute ability. It hits pretty hard, and it's only single target though. We use the single target morph since I use the Asylum Sanctorum two-hander. I prefer using it more often. If I have for example, two adds, I'll just use it twice, and I'll get back more ultimate to charge up my werewolf faster. So, and then we use Rally, and then we use the Summon Daggers thingy that the Stamsorc has. As a kind of like a burst combo in human form if you're running up against squishy people, because this build doesn't really have the damage to kill people in human form. It's not meant to do that, it's a werewolf setup. You can probably do like charge up your daggers with 4 light attacks, and then you can fear them, daggers, toss out the flying daggers, and then go into uppercut. Maybe even combine that with a 2H alt or a Dawnbreaker. But I would not recommend using actively using an ultimate. Just save up the ultimate for your well form. That's where the build is most comfortable. Now that we actually have a snare removal, it's actually awesome. You can use the Berserker's Rage as a defensive ultimate as well, since it gives you physical and spell resistance equal to the amount ignored for 8 seconds. And it makes it kind of immune to all CCs and snares, which is really, really awesome. But I just prefer having Temporal Guard in there, since that'll give you like 8% less damage taken. That's pretty much all up to you. So, now comes the Werewolf abilities. The Werewolf abilities have changed a lot in this patch, so I'll go over them slowly. Nothing really changed with the Claws of Life. It's still a damage over time ability with a very strong initial damage component. And healing over the damage over time is also healed at the same time. So yeah, that's what we'll probably, if you keep that on like 2 or 3 people, you're getting back very strong heals. The next ability is Howl of Agony. Essentially it's the Werewolf's Wrecking Blow. And they changed it that if an enemy is facing you, they also take the 25% more damage. So enemies who are fighting you, are actually actively targeting you, are basically opening themselves up and making themselves more vulnerable to you attacking them. The next ability is Feral Pounce. They added another ability to it, so that if you use it in the next 5 seconds again, it'll add a bleed to it, which also has an execute built in. And for every second that this execute ticks, you get back 100 stamina, and it extends your wealth transformation by 1 second. I tested it, so basically by using that, the Feral Pounce on cooldown, your werewolf will not go down, literally, as long as you keep it up. It's really awesome. I like how they buffed this ability. It makes sustaining your well form so much easier and so much nicer. In PvP, it really is amazing. So, next ability is Deafening Roar. Before I used to use the other morph, they changed this morph so that you also get the off balance, and it also gives you Major Fracture. So basically, this patch, probably also because of some certain performance problems, I prefer using the Deafening Roar into the Light Attack, Howl of Agony morph. Maybe like dodge him up, maybe like do like the Feral Pounce, then use it again to proc the Executioner dodge, fear them, and try and burst them with the Howl of Agonies and the Deafening Roar. So yeah. And as a last ability, we'll use the Hisi's Fortitude, which is the Werewolf Feel. I like it because they changed it the Werewolf Feel a bit, that you get extra stam and health recovery for 5% of the healing done. So for example, if you heal for 15k in PvP, which is not unrealistic, it happens very often on the setup, even after the nerfs. With crits, yeah, I think my highest was a 19k crit though. Anyway, so yeah, you get up to 666 extra health recovery at that point. So yeah, it's really, really nice. And also while you have it slotted, you gain Major Brutality. So no more having to chug weapon damage pots. Same thing with the Deafening Roar. If you have it slotted, which as a wealth you do, as you get the Major Savagery as well. So you can literally use tripods at this point on the werewolf. There's really literally no reason to use weapon damage potions. And yeah, if you use the ability at full health, you restore a 3k stamina. So it's like a bit of a dark deal for werewolves, essentially. Only that it costs almost 3 times as much. And gives you back about half of as much stamina. Well, it feels like it. I can't check the numbers right now. Anyway. So that's the wealth abilities. As a next, we will go to the champion points. And yeah. It's a bit glitchy when I stand in his house, but oh well. Oh yeah, another warning is that the Call of the Pack passive is a bit bugged. That's why we have to use the Feral Pounce. If it weren't bugged and I could see how much the White Wolf would affect the Call of the Pack passive, because apparently the Dire Wolves you summon also should affect it, maybe then I would use the other morph, but at this point, because it's bugged, I don't feel comfortable enough going with the Brutal Pounce morph. So I'm going for Feral Pounce. And yeah, the sustain also is really nice from the feral punch. I think it's like, yeah, it gives it back like 1k stamina. So the ability in itself, if you use it on cooldown, only costs like 2.5k stamina. So we'll start with the CP. The Warlord reduces the cost to break free. We put 44 points into there. The next we put, let's put this 1 point into Siphoner, which we can use to basically take away one cleansing slot for Templars and stuff, and Wardens. And then this two we put 43 points on the Moonkalf, Arcanist, and Healthy, just to bump up our recovery values in an equal manner. And then we put 15 points on the Tenacity, just to give us a bit more resources back from heavy attacking people. In the next two, we put 31 points on the Befoul and 48 points on the Tumbling. We put the points on the Befoul to bump up the Defile we get from the Claws of Life. The Defile we get is a bit hidden. It says it's affected with the Disease Status Effect. The Disease Status Effect means Minor Defile, which is 15% damage, 15% healing reduction. And I hate this glitch. Bumping this up 18% will mean that it's probably going to be at around 20% or so. And the rest of the points we put on the Shadow Ward to decrease our blocking costs. We put 49 points on the Blessing. They changed the Vengeance passive and the Spell Precision passive so that it's not as useful for the Wealth anymore as it used to be. But because they nerfed the healing last patch on the Wealth, I feel that putting a few more points into there would be kind of a good idea. Just to give us the same amount of healing that we got last patch. Because healing is kind of a tricky subject for Lycans. We put 42 points on the Physical Weapon Expert, 61 on the Mileside Arms, and 31 on the Shattering Blows. This is to help us push it through, easier push through mages and stuff and magic builds in general. Then we put 31 points on the Piercing and 56 points on the Mighty. This is to decrease the resistances of especially stam builds in PvP. I mean, with this kind of setup, we have like a 14k physical penetration rate, which is amazing. With the Stun set, with the Major Fracture we get from the Deafening Roar, that's like 10k right there. Then we have 2.5k about from the CP, and then like another 1.5k from the Stun set as a fourth slot. And yeah, anyway, that's around 14k. Registry, we put 56 points under Ironclad, then we put 28 under Spell Shield and 21 under the Critical Resistance. We put 34 points under the Thick-Skinned, 49 under Hardy, and 49 under Elemental Defender, just to reduce the overall damage that we're taking from people in PvP. And the rest of all the points we put under physical and the heavy armor resistances. Why? Heavy armor focus, which will also give us the Infused passive and the Field Physician passive. So anyway, so that was a CP. Did I forget anything? The stats on this build are really good. It's weird. The magical stain is out of this world. I really do like it. I think those two sets are really, really awesome. Never had a Wealth with this much penetration before. And yeah, oh yeah, potions. That's another good thing I can show you. Usually in PvP, I usually use tripods. Sometimes if you run up against a build who's like stunning you very often, like Stam Blades for example, who try and drain your stamina primarily, I like using anti-stun pots. Because they really don't require that much magicka to heal through, but they drain your stamina like crazy. Invisibility potions for oh shit situations, and spell protection pots for when you're really getting smacked around by multiple people. Your damage won't decrease since we'll get most of the damage buff. We get all the damage buffs we need. We get from having the Werewolf skills slotted, but your sustain will be a lot worse. So you'll have to watch that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about the build, just write them in the comment section. And yeah, I guess that's it. Peace out.